Bulawanaka, and a very good morning to you all. Our 2013 Fijian Constitution introduced the most powerful protection of Voreqe land in history. We entrusted every inch of Voreqe land to our land-owning communities for all time. That is why not 1 inch of Voreqe land has ever been lost under my government. That inheritance, which represents 91% of land in Fiji, is also the greatest wealth-creating asset in the country. Having said that, while many of our land-owning units have large amounts of land, they don't always have the upfront capital for major investments to develop their land so that they can lease it out for a higher return. This leaves communities vulnerable to being exploited by outsider third-party developers with deeper pockets. These developers come in, develop the land, and then lease that land out themselves and make enormous profits. Landowners only see a small part of the pie. Alternatively, because of politicization of land and land ownership, we have seen many Voreqe landowners simply hold on to land without productively using it. My government refused to sit by and watch the Voreqe people miss out on revenue, on profits that they should accumulate. That is why the Voreqe Land Development Initiative was started by my government, and how Nasoqela subdivision has become the reality we see before us today. We ensured budget allocation for Voreqe landowners to support them with complete land development package. This means that government works on everything from clearing and leveling the ground to subdividing the land, and then ensuring connectivity to all utility services, including electricity, water, and brand new paved roads. At no time in Fijian history have we ever seen an undertaking such as this being made available to our landowners. We gather here today for the unveiling of this pioneering initiative, very first, ready-to-use, modern Fiji subdivision. Prep for 15 residential lots, 1 commercial lot, and an open space. The $2.89 million site has been developed to global climate resilient standards with underground cabling for EFL and telecommunications. Ladies and gentlemen, this opportunity is something that our foremothers and forefathers could never have been able to imagine. It is virtually unheard of for a Fijian government to come in, completely develop a piece of land, and then hand it back to its landowner free of charge as a cash-generating resource. It is one of my proudest moments and achievements as Prime Minister, to be able to see this final product, a concrete symbol of economic prosperity and aspiration for Voreqe landowners. As a father and grandfather, to know that this land will now not only support livelihoods today, but for many generations to come, is actually quite emotional. In 2019, as you know, I was with you to break ground on this subdivision. Today, this impressive piece of developed land not only benefits Tailevu investments, but overall increases land value in the surrounding areas. It will also mean that those who buy 99-year lease land will build new in concrete homes. Banks will lend them money. They will need builders, plumbers, shops, and all other things that come with putting down roots in a community. This means a higher return for all landowners. This means a huge rise in economic activity and economic prosperity, not only for the people of Namata and this district, but the overall Fijian economy. It will create more prosperity and put more money in the hands of Fijians. Tailevu Investments has made a smart financial move in requesting this support from government, and I hope your example inspires others. I want to explicitly encourage other Tokai landowners to come forward and make full use of this one-in-a-lifetime opportunity. You must consider your future and that of your children. You should work with my government to empower yourselves. Take advantage of such initiatives and the many training and upskilling initiatives for entrepreneurs that we could provide. My government has always been about empowering all Fijians. My government has always been about ensuring that the Tokai realize that they can become more prosperous if they let go of the prejudices that have existed in the past and which unfortunately some seek to bring up again and again. However, I'm glad to note that the old politics is very rapidly becoming insignificant. We as a Tokai should be aware that the 2013 Constitution guarantees our land ownership so that there's nothing to fear. Accordingly, we must adopt the economic policies that my government has put in place to empower you, to make you not only asset rich, but cash rich. We must understand that the siege mentality does us no good, no favors. We have to modernize, we have to think about the future. We have to understand that our economic prosperity is tied to an integrated and inclusive Fiji. Making our land available for development will give us financial and economic prosperity, and for our fellow Fijians and our beloved Fiji. This is what I know you want. This is what I know every Fijian wants. Such initiatives, coupled with the huge levels of infrastructure investment by my government in roads, in water, electricity, and the protection of the most vulnerable, especially during challenging times, together with an inclusive, strong, and decisive leadership, will not only provide stability and certainty, but bring even greater opportunities for all of us, all our men, women, youth, the disabled, the not so wealthy, and our children. I wish to thank all those involved, the Attorney General, the Minister for Economy, Shah from the Construction and Implementation Unit of the Ministry of Economy, Suliana Tokai from the Attorney General's Chambers, Sanjes from Scope Consultants, the FRA, the EFL, Telecom, Water Authority of Fiji, the construction company, and other partners. Thank you to you all for your dedication and expertise in making this development a success. Once again, congratulations to Halewalu developers. With financial discipline and with insight to break further barriers, we look forward to you carrying out more developments and become an inspiration for many more Tokai landowners.
The Honourable Prime Minister, the Rogotui Namata, the Vanua Northern Halowalia Investments, ladies and gentlemen, gives me much pleasure to be here this morning with the Honourable Prime Minister for the commissioning of the subdivision. The speech that was just made actually did make me very emotional because, ladies and gentlemen, this is the first of the 10 subdivisions that has now been commissioned fully. We have another 10 subdivisions that are being carried out throughout Fiji. Interestingly enough, ladies and gentlemen, this is the only subdivision in the Central Division. All the others are in the Western Division. It obviously says a lot about the people from the Western Division, ladies and gentlemen. But out of the 10, of course, the first one has been done in Tailevu. It is not because the Honourable Prime Minister is from Tailevu, but it is because, ladies and gentlemen, this is the first one that we were able to complete. As has been highlighted, one of the critical issues, and of which our Prime Minister is a champion of, that many of our developments face the challenge of climate change. We have had since 2016 14 cyclones. Of course, since 2019, we've had at least about 4 to 6 cyclones. That has stopped, that had slowed down, I should say, some of the developments. In between, of course, we had a 1 in 100-year event, which was COVID-19. which placed a number of restrictions. Despite those challenges, ladies and gentlemen, today we are here on a completed subdivision. As the Honorable Prime Minister has highlighted, this brings about great economic prosperity. Land is made available, people feel confident enough to come and pay very good money for leased lands. The value of the land around this area will continue to increase. People will be able to use this land as collateral to build homes, hire people, and of course it creates economic prosperity and puts more money in everybody's pockets. I would just like to very quickly also thank the Honorable Prime Minister for his tremendous leadership. And I do not say this because he is my boss. I say this because this type of initiative has never been put in place. Please try and understand this. It is only with that kind of strong and visionary leadership can we have this type of development. It really does put money in the pockets of the landowners. He has just returned from a very successful meeting with President Biden, with the UN General Assembly, and despite the very arduous journey he's had, very stringent time frames, he's here with us today because in having worked with him since 2007, I have seen his commitment to empowering all Fijians, in particular the Itauke landowners, and ensuring that they do truly become cash rich. So this is a very momentous occasion. I'd also like to thank the Halwalia Investments for their vision. The Rokotui Namata and his family have in fact done enormous favor by inspiring other people around Tailevu and of course in other parts. The largest population in Fiji lives between Nosori and Lami. There are many ordinary Fijians who want to own their home. They want to call their house their own, on leased land. Most people know that, 99-year lease. So there's enormous potential. A lot of people want to build their own homes. They don't want to live in tin shacks. They want to build nice concrete homes. The only way for them to do that is to have security of a lease and to be able to go to the banks and borrow money. In that way, we'll not only be empowering landowners with the cash money, with financial security, but also creating wealth and security for all other Fijians. It's a win-win situation for everybody. The Honorable Prime Minister, next week, on Tuesday, God willing, will be commissioning another 2 sites in the Western Division. One in Vunda, which is a very different landscape on the peak overlooking the Nandi Bay, 8 prime residential lots. And then in Nyandua, in Nadronga, opposite Pacific Green, where there will be 13 residential lots, access to beautiful beaches. Every single lot of land over here and in those subdivisions, as part of the package, we actually value it. We get independent valuers, we get them to value the land. So the developers know that they should not sell it for anything less than that. They must get the right market price. We have 7 other subdivisions, and just for information, and hopefully it can inspire more people, we have in Warimbitia 17 residential lots. Saweni, we have 34 residential lots. We have in Vunda, we have 8 residential lots. A former Fijian rep with him and his wife have decided to go and lease the land from their own landowning unit, take a lease over it, and they've come to us and they're now subdividing the land. It's prime land. They'll get very good money. Then of course we are here today. Yandua, there's 13 residential lots. In Vunda, we have 15 residential lots. In Vunda, another site, 15 residential lots. In Tavua, which the Honorable Prime Minister recently did the groundbreaking ceremony, 34 residential lots, 3 commercial lots, and 1 civic space. In Visese, 45 residential lots and 1 open space. In Saravi, where currently are working on the scheme plan, this is along the Queen's Highway. And then in Lautoka, Korotu Properties Limited, 18 residential lots. Just as early as last week, we had more landowners coming forward. So ladies and gentlemen, we urge you to please look at the benefits of this, participate in this, It's a win-win situation for everybody. I would like to also reiterate again what the Honorable Prime Minister had said, but before I do that, I'd like to also highlight, we did do another project, not a subdivision, but there was a Tui Nambo Development and Construction Limited, which was here in Tailevu, where they did do a development on their own, but they had some problems in terms of doing the repayments. We actually, as part of this, we assisted them with the first repayment of about $437,000 back in 2017. That was when the first disbursement was done. Ladies and gentlemen, these subdivisions cannot be completed, as has been highlighted, without the assistance of many different agencies. I'm very glad, Honorable Prime Minister, and also Voreqe to Namata, to see the CEOs of EFL here, the CEO of Water Authority Fiji is here, and the CEO of Fiji Roads Authority. All three of them are here. The telecom company, of course, is part and parcel of this entire subdivision plan. I'd like to thank the three CEOs for their assistance, for their contribution and indeed collaboration. We look forward to further collaboration from them. We have two sites in Warimbitia and Saweni in Lautoka, where those plans were done initially not meeting climate standards. We've now gone back, put in more monies, and have put all the electrical cables underground. Everything is going underground. So next time there's a cyclone, there's nothing to blow down. That's what we call climate resilience. You will see over here, similarly with this subdivision, there's nothing overhead. The only thing that's overhead are the street lights. So this adds value to the subdivision. I'd like to thank all these different agencies. I'd like to once again reiterate what the Honourable Prime Minister mentioned. Imtiaz Shah and his team, Construction Implementation Unit, Suliana Itoke, who's in fact does the legal aspects of it. We'd like to thank TLTB also, because all the land is TLTB land, for them to facilitate the leases. And Scope Consultants, who have been tremendous and have been working with us on almost all the sites. And on this particular site, we have specialized contractors, Fiji Limited, that have carried out the works. Ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to thank all those who have been involved. I'd like to thank the Honourable Prime Minister. I'd like to thank Voreqe to Namata and his family for carrying out the subdivision. And we hope that today you can become ambassadors of this initiative. Please tell as many landowners as possible that the potential is there and that we are here to work with you and collaborate with you to be able to ensure that not only landowners become, as the Honourable Prime Minister said, cash rich, become land secure, which is guaranteed by the Constitution, but also to ensure long-term longevity and prosperity for all Fijians. Minaka, thank you.
Minaka, the word of God says in Proverbs 29:18, where there is no vision, people perish. Our chief guest, the Honourable Prime Minister, Minister for Economy, the Attorney General, Mr. Ayaz Kiyu, invited guests, family and friends, one more than one, ladies and gentlemen. I stand here today as requested just to deliver a short speech on behalf of Voreqe to Namata and his family, the Haliwal. First, we would like to acknowledge God Almighty for this opportunity where our family can be part of this great achievement. We thank God for His provision in the duration of this project. We know and believe that without His power, His protection, without His help and guidance, our family wouldn't be where we are today. Honourable Prime Minister, today is a very special for our family and the one on another one. This day will never come back. And that is why we encourage all our family members to be here to witness this great occasion. So as you may notice, 3 years ago, during our groundbreaking that was done here, our family were all dressed up in red. And you might wonder why it is red again today. All this is done for our dear mother, grandmother, the late Merawale Testimonial. And she was the backbone and pillar of strength for our family. We dedicate the success of this project to her, and that is why we also named the subdivision road Bainimarama Road. And red was her favorite color. So in 2012, our family decided to venture into this housing project, land development. After obtaining all documentation approval in 2013, we started approaching all these commercial banks to try and secure a loan to develop our land. But all this did not turn out well, and it was so discouraging for us. But it was in 2014, sir, during our campaign, that your party Fiji First introduced your manifesto, and it was highlighted that $10 million will be allocated to develop Nasoqela land. Our family was very happy. We know that our prayer was answered. 2015, we did apply for this grant, and we were awarded this grant in 2017. We thank you for that, Honorable Prime Minister. But due to the unforeseen circumstances faced by the government, the groundbreaking then happened in April 2019. After a lapse of another 3 years, we are here today to witness the commissioning of this fully granted subdivision given by your government. Therefore, Namata and his family and the Mono would like to thank you, sir, for keeping up to your promise. Just to conclude, sir, it is our prayer that God Almighty will continue to bless you, your government, in His own mighty way.